Speaking.
Oftentimes a wooden kennel would be enough. But a brick wall and a brick kennel would certainly be better. So yeah, I'd be a little bit worried about this getting a little bit out of hand.
Having so much prio means this is an easy pickup on the Dragon, and Mundo, a champion who can really do this one with no problem.
Yeah, sort of hoovers through that, as now DuDu, slice and dicing, acting all cool. Does have to flash to get the stun here onto Rich, but that closes the gap, and Rich just walks it off. Yep, there's the form change for the extra movement speed. Pyosik, if he can get the snipe, might be able to get something going. Doesn't have the ulti though, and I don't think he's going to be able to find too much. Rich actually electing to go away from the turret, away from the crocodile, and he's just dead even though he flashed.
Oh, that feels...
I'd say there's a little bit to be talked about there.
That feels so bad. If Pyosik had the ultimate available, this is not a fun lane. This is not a lane that is going well. You are into Yunara Karma, so they can outscale and they are getting plates, so it's not good, but at least the farm is not in a dire spot. That's all I can really say.
Ooh, Gold Card connects here, as Willer is looking to try and follow up. The wild card's not really landing. And it is just Pyosik hanging out in the back of the grub pit. I believe was able to take the range advantage quite well. Outside of that, I think DuDu is kind of okay with how things are going. Maybe less okay now as Willer is moving up, but Pyosik is here, a 2v2. A Rich looking worse for wear, cannot be in melee range, but that is Dominus now on cooldown for DuDu.
Are they gonna die?
Well, they're looking at a possible avenue to do so, as we do have multiple people rotating over. My god, that phosphorus bomb did so much work. Andil has to flash, and Jiwoo, I don't think he's going to be able to get that one, as he's down to sub 100 health. The barrier, beautifully done, walks out of the way of the phosphorus bomb, as there it is, Jiwoo able to get that last hit. And actually, it wasn't him. It was the Karma that secures the kill. And so therefore, Andil dies for it. As now Willer is trying to deal with Peter. It looked like Rich survived on that top side and teleported back.
Ends up very scrappy in the bot side play. Even though deokdam getting the kill, Andil getting it in return doesn't feel TP, so it's just a 4v4 for this objective.
Yep. Rich is going back to base, or is at least considering it for the moment. As Pyosik going to try and make this for the 50-50 as G throws a Slurkle in. There's the Destiny, as that is going to be Double Dragon secured by DRX. And down will go Clozer without too much of anything happening. As Pyosik gets himself out of the way, Magnet Storm comes through, pulls them in, and now Pyosik's popping off. Willer goes down, deokdam gets a double, and Ucal running for the hills.
Andil takes so much damage, ends up setting up for Pyosik to get a reset in that situation. And then Peter gets a huge engage, and look at the summoners on the side of DRX. Jiwoo, flash not used. Willer, flash not used.
That's all right. That's a weird sentence. Never mind, we're fighting over a red buff here, as the briefcases are really starting to hurt. Willer moving forward, Clozer getting flanked, and there is the gold card. Flash over from Willer to try and lock down Pyosik. Meanwhile, there's a fight on the other side. Jiwoo flashes over the wall to take down the rel, and now deokdam is in a lot of trouble. Pyosik goes untargetable, but there's the dash, and the ruin comes on through to take down the Corki. Pyosik has to get out of there, and another gold card comes on around. But that gravity well, a lot of value. Can Willer go where he pleases? That's the question, and as Mundo, generally yes, but that's a death ray. That's a little bit scary. Unable to get the fadeaway blue buff. Pyosik does at least get that, but DRX in good standing once again.
Master red buff, right? And then Peter's super low. Jiwoo flashes over to chase. He's still getting backed up by Andil. Oh, what is going on?
Peter is dead. Oh.
Well, yeah, I can see
I believe he may have been hit by a Slurkle.
Mayhaps.
Yes. As Pyosik not exactly finding the daggers here. As DNS really, okay, that's just Ucal flashing in, looking for deokdam. Pyosik trying to get rid of him, but Willer is just going to walk after them. And so that was a weird flash from Ucal.
Things have gotten a little weird in this game in general.
Yeah, I would say so. Ooh, the stun Turkle. Just working out very well.
A lot of fighting, a lot of scrapping, and honestly, I think DRX are okay with this. They have 2 dragons in pocket.
Yep.
Everyone has...
That's why Rich just has to run down here, and DRX are being apprehensive on the play. Jiwoo just going to push out this wave, and it looks like they're just going to give this dragon up. As DRX still sticking around, but it is going to be Pyosik locking this one down. That is just going to be the turret taken. That's first turret blood over to the Yunara, which is a little scary. Doggo's blocking a lot of stuff this game.
Yeah.
Nicely done, little pastry sausages.
Blocking those cleavers is a lot of value, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ultimately, though, I think getting the dragon for DNS huge, denying the stacking from DRX, but still a big concern. You're playing into Yunara, Karma, doesn't feel good. Yunara, Karma, Mundo, just in general, the game extending isn't a great feeling.
There's a flash from Peter, this time looking to try and take down Ucal, as he is able to get that gold card out. Slice dice from DuDu, gets into the Dominus, and that should be a dead Ucal. However, he does get himself out, as Pyosik is the one that has to come in and save the day. deokdam finally shows up, asks everyone what the heck's going on, and breaks down the turret.
They really just threw everything at him there.
They really wanted to kill
committed the play. Yeah, they did get him. Took him down, got the tower as well. But in the meantime, DRX will just flash, though, not Hex Flash. And also, he jumps in when he's outside of the tower range.
Oh, let's have a look at the same play again, as this time it's on to Andil. He takes a lot of damage, but Willa, he's so healthy, and there's the flash hammer from Rich to try and take down Peter. The bottom lane is now dead, and Gate into the back line. Ucal trying to get even more as Jiwoo utilizing the ultimate so beautifully to make sure that there is no victor left on this map either. And DRX, they really, really like Silver Scrape.
Did recently watch the Australian Open, though, so a bit of Australian Open history is probably for the best. As Clozer not being here would also be for the best, as he's booped back towards Ucal and eliminated.
He definitely isn't there anymore.
No. And DRX are now going to start pushing here in this mid lane. Should be able to do so pretty comfortably, but the rest of DNS are able to get on over here.
Oh, Clozer's going to actualize a second. We expected to see some more of this.
It's a bit cheaper on this patch, right?
Yeah, so expect to see more of this from the Aegis. Unfortunately, won't help.
All right, Jiwoo is just going to walk up to Peter and try and hit him. He just magnets walks away. They take down Ucal, as now Andil's also dead. But now Rich brings that hammer down, and even though there's the Dominus, DuDu has to flash out of the way, as Willow with the flash briefcase to snipe the Renekton and get another kill for Jiwoo, who finds the Slurkle, gets the Valkyrie, and deokdam is going to have to blast cone his way out. Jiwoo, I don't think, he's going to flash for it. Never you mind. I thought, no, he'll hold on to that. Take down this dragon. They know that they need to deny this soul point as DRX in position. That's a great shock blast onto deokdam, but not doing a massive amount of damage right now as Willa tries to get the smite, doesn't find it, but now the damage just massive out of DRX as they pull in Peter. The Arcane Storm doing a little bit of work here, but DRX still want more as Jiwoo has to dash his way out of there. The ulti
was an aspect. DNS still got on top of the objective, right?
Yeah.
So him flashing for that kill, being flashed us for that is perhaps not the right decision.
Oh, yeah, we are destinying our way forward.
Flash now down for Clozer.
Yeah, actually turning it onto DuDu here as Ucal actually doing a fair bit of damage. Rich comes on forward, lays down the hammer. Now they're looking for even more. Jiwoo just loves pressing R. And he does so, but Pyosik gets himself over that wall and will be able to get out.
Now they're trying to push up mid and get a look in.
Well, now Ucal throws out a gold card and then walks very far away. Rapid fire cannon certainly helping him here, but that bleed doing some work onto the Twisted Fate as Jiwoo just going to start up this dragon, teleport in from DuDu. DNS not wanting to give this one up as gold card to try and catch him. He slices forward. Not sure about that one because he doesn't have access to the dice, but now they're looking for it as Jiwoo is surrounded. They're able to take him down, and now the DPS is just missing. Willer is going to be the next one to be targeted. Pyosik takes him out, and somehow it worked. DNS will be able to pick up Soul Point here. Triple Infernal, and the tempo vibes go straight back to them.
Jungle down as well. They might just be able to go Baron immediately after this. See the recall from Clozer. I think he's going to TP for mana as well.
Man, that looked insane, though.
We'll see if they can force him off. His shock blast hits only Peter.
Yeah. And Peter does take a fair bit of damage there as gold card comes through onto Clozer, but it's not really doing damage as Andil taking the Crocodile for a walk. That's always dangerous as Peter's just dead, but he's just trying to buy some space. That is Pyosik taking down the Baron, and Baron for one, you'll take that.
Yep, I like the setup as well. You saw how Clozer was moving up towards the exit. He was the only one who couldn't get over the wall easily. Everyone else moved to the back of the pit. They could escape with their mobility. So they just had an exit plan. They were like, Peter, you're going to die. We're going to sacrifice you. This was crazy.
Not so much. So it's all about you.
Yeah.
And we just saw that sometimes it is hard for him to stay alive. As Ucal was trying to go back home, and now he's just going to have to gate away.
Okay.
Finally, the Infinity Edge is complete.
Yeah, quick response from Ucal there, just to get out of dodge. Obviously no CC on the Neferi to stop you from doing that. But yeah, Jiwoo got the Infinity Edge, gets him through that bit of a power trough he was in. deokdam? Oh my god. They are collapsing on them.
Let's see whether this actually works for DRX as Ucal. He's got a gold card and a dream. He manages to lock down Clozer's Jiwoo. Massive damage. As now that Arc of Ruin just slow down Peter. Arcane Storm in the choke point is dangerous, and they jump on top of Rich. But Will's right there, deokdam! I don't know about that one, buddy, but he trades his life for the chase. Maybe that works, but Jiwoo's still alive, and Clozer, he is not. He eats a Slurkle, and he dies for a double kill for Jiwoo. And DuDu, he doesn't want any of this silliness. He's in the top lane.
Okay, deokdam needs to chill a little bit.
At best.
Yeah, it is. It's just bruises. And a
rel.
Yeah.
A metal pants lady. As Pyosik now is in a weird spot, but it is Neferi, so a fair bit of mobility.
He's just getting some poke downs.
Just coning around. Never use that as a verb. It's a weird one. All right. DuDu on a flank angle as well. Oh my goodness, is he going to do it again? That is the question. Let's see how safe Jiwoo can be as he looks to try and turn it. Magnetstorm doesn't connect onto the Inara, but DuDu flashes for it. He just doesn't have enough. The rest of the team are not there as they take down Rich, but he's not the priority target. If Jiwoo flashes into them, then it might work out, but he does get himself out of there. deokdam doesn't find the fast bomb, and Willer is just walking at him. Flashes over the top. deokdam finally finds it, though, as now Andil is fighting.
Pyosik gets him!
Pyosik finds the reset, goes into the GA, and Ucal, the last man standing against all of these tiny health bars. Can he get enough? That is the question. As the Cinder on the ground, he wants to pick up Pyosik, but he can go untargetable, so he eats it. The sidestep's not enough, and down he will go. That's an ace, and that is a quadra.
Other than like the tether or like the Jace E, they're relying on the stun card. It just does nothing to this Neferi.
And with Infernal now, they just have so much damage. Another fight is broken out here as now Rich fighting Peter on the offside as Willer has to throw down the ulti. That's going to help him out, though, as his health bar is massive. And now the rest of DRX are just going to turn onto Peter, and he's dead. Now DNS down their metal horse pants lady.
Yeah, getting a little messy here. A little split up in that fight.
Are we still singing Silver Scrapes, DRX? That's the question. As Pyosik, he can do that all day. That's all right. DRX wanting to get themselves a Baron, and I am a little bit worried about their prospects. As Willer now with ulti down is not quite as durable as now Ucal looking for a gold card onto another target, but it runs out, and so deokdam dives on top of him. He has to flash into the back of the Baron pit and then just dies, and so that is now the TF down. Now Pyosik goes in, goes untargetable. He's got so much value out of that ability, and he manages to get out. Now DuDu gets into the mix, but he goes down immediately. Kited out, but Rich is going to be cleaning up. deokdam with the cleanup as now Andil. Jiwoo taking matters into his own hands, but deokdam just barely survives, and it's a double for Clozer. Now Pyosik turns back up. How are they getting away with this?
The crazy play from DNS
is 9-0-10.
Look how low the health bars are. Jiwoo trying to find the fight, but he can't pull it off, and DNS clean up all of DRX.
Oh man, and at 36 minutes, Infernal Soul in hand, there is 18 seconds on this Twisted Fate. I think DNS have done it. I think this is the 3-1, and DRX, I mean, they were singing Silver Scrapes. And now it all falls apart. The Nexus, the last one in their LCK Cup run, will be going down, and Peter will stand in the way to stop Ucal from watching. And there it is, DNS will progress to take on